just issued their update. A wind gust of 50 miles an hour was recently reported at Savannah, Georgia. NOAA buoy 41008, 45 miles southeast of Savannah, reported a sustained wind of 47 miles an hour and a wind gust of 58 miles an hour. That's interesting, because that must be really close to the storm. Sustained winds of 35 to 40 miles an hour and gusts of 50 to 60 miles an hour continue across much of the Jacksonville metropolitan area. Water levels remain high along much of the St. Johns River, with 3 to 4.3 feet of storm surge inundation reported at the Racy Point, Red Bay Point, and I-295 bridge tide gauges. About 0.5 foot of the storm surge inundation was reported at Fort Pulaski, Georgia, near Savannah, and these water levels are expected to rise with the approach of the next high tide. Still 110 miles an hour, it's a Category 2. My name's Nathan Foy, and for this next hour I'm joined by the busy Skype team. There's a lot of people still here. Lee, John, Orlando, David, Lachlan, Hank, Strat, and David's clone. Good.
David clones.
Yeah, David's got cloned.
David's got 2 accounts in the room. We'll ignore that. Hey, I'll be the 8th.
Hey, it's live
it
here.
off my screen sharing.
Hey, we're doing it live. We don't care. Regardless, you look here. If my graphic would stop being glitchy, you can see here that you're seeing a lot of blues and yellows and maybe a couple oranges. That means your storm surge is anywhere between 1 and 3 feet if it's blue and yellow, and anything orange is greater than 6 feet. So yeah, a lot of places.
I'd recommend switching it to inundation layer only on the map layer options. That gives a better view, because it cuts off a lot of areas.
I think it's probably because of the coastal estuaries and marshes that's probably causing things to be a bit lesser. Yep. But if we didn't count all those marshes breaking up the storm surge, our raw storm surge values are talking about anywhere between 3 feet and 9 feet, depending on where you are. 3 feet, 6 feet down here, 6 to 9 feet up here. So be thankful you have those marshes to kind of break things up a little bit. They're like a natural barrier. And again, Louisiana lost them during Katrina, but we're not going to really get into that since we're not talking about Katrina tonight.
Actually, if you guys look at the latest infrared satellite from the RAM, it looks. It actually makes me even more confused.
I think you might be cutting out there.
Cloud tops to of where we just assumed the eye was periodically. The infrared version of that. It makes it pretty hard to tell, to say the least, because it's trying to warm up cloud tops, an area that we didn't think the center of circulation is. It is pretty hard to tell at all where the center is at this point.
Yeah, the National Hurricane Center.
Convection's convection.
National Hurricane Center kept it at north, or 5 degrees east of north, which is virtually north, at 12 miles per hour.
Yeah.
Or is that true north?
Strat, convection is gonna fire regardless. It's over water still. So it doesn't. Really
I know. I'm just kind of confused as to where the eye is at this point. It's kind of hard to tell.
I think the eye is completely capitulated.
But I've got to say, with that reading from a weather buoy 45 miles southeast of Savannah, that must be sort of just on the very edge of the northern, what's left of the eye wall. So it's only, you'd imagine, only really in those red flare-ups is where the hurricane force winds are now.
Yeah.
Though winds are still around 60 miles an hour in Jacksonville area, I think.
Yeah, but regardless, the storm actually still looks pretty, like the eye wall still looks pretty decent on radar. From
so maybe
just the southeast region.
Maybe the eye is just obscured by convection.
Originating cloud tops.
I mean, if Matthew pops an eye out right now,
and the storm was stronger, we could at least tell where it was. It's just, if you go to the RAM infrared, in the latest frame of 137 UTC, so quite recently actually tries to warm cloud touches the south and east of that main burst of convection. It's almost as if, like, they're trying to develop two different areas, really. Not the easiest to tell at this point. Yeah, it is pretty difficult to point out in particular at this point.
There's also those flash flood warnings that are still in effect, and that tornado watch that remains in effect for parts of Georgia and South Carolina, I think it is, until midnight. The
That might have been updated, so...
a real concern. Yeah, it might have been extended.
It's still all valid until midnight for all the same areas as before.
Yeah, there haven't been any
Georgia,
tornado warnings recently.
Fortunately. For Georgia, it's Bryan, Catherine, and Effingham County. For Carolina, or South Carolina, it's Beaufort, Berkeley, Charleston, Colton, Dorchester, Hampton, and Jasper County. Those are the same as earlier, and it expires in 2 hours.
I class this as breaking news from Savannah. It's being reported by Michael Lowry that Savannah has a very real possibility of breaking a 80-plus year storm surge record. High tide is 1:22 a.m. ET.
And that could be the closest I pass, roughly just before or around then as well.
So is Matthew, is he going to stall if his track changes to the northeast? Is he going to stall when starting that curve?
I'm going to take a look and see if factors would support that. I mean, the ridge is still there. Kind of looks like it's impeding its movement to the north. The blocking high is pretty strong, it seems, still holding itself out. Although it does seem like it starts to move off a little bit within, like, the next 6 hours. By 6 hours, instead of covering most of North Carolina, it only covers none of it. It covers coastal Virginia. By 12 hours, it is retreated all the way back towards Long Island and Connecticut as where its outer boundary is, and then that second area of high pressure over the
we are
southern
still
and plain
watching the
states
stream just
take over
as you were
for the most part. So kind of hard to tell if it'll really stall. If the ridge retreats as the GFS is suggesting, then probably not.
Nathan, I just want to respond via this screen share to the scene Matthew and Nicole, and this is ABC News, active tropics. When you don't trust your man, so you follow him to work. Oh, I tell you, the sense of humour, just like that skull, and
and they're both falling apart as well.
So yeah, memes exist.
What's falling apart?
Nicole and Matthew at this point.
Have a look at
Matthew's kind of holding itself together better.
Oh, I've got to look at this.
Nicole is kind of dying at this point.
Yeah.
Although models are pretty bullish on trying to have Nicole survive, I will say that.
Not bad.
Apology for my microphone, but
Not
bad.
Sense of humour, no, but it just we can't escape what Matthew has done, especially for the people of Haiti. And that's just a developing story.
Yeah, more
I
or
don't
less.
suppose you've got any more news on that at all.
No, I am hoping in the near future to get Adam into a chat and see what is happening from the Grand Cayman because I should put a plug in, Nathan, for the 1 hour update that we did on Matthew, which is now available on the Caribbean channel, where we showed a 7-minute video of the military response, and looks like the Grand Cayman region is going to be the staging point. And as I said yesterday, the United States, the British Navy, and I think the Dutch Navy are responding vessels to the Caribbean region. I think it's the USS Carrier George Washington is now en route, along with additional support ships. So
I imagine a lot of countries will be giving aid in some way. I don't know how many gave aid during the earthquake that happened 6 years ago, but this could be a disaster of those proportions.
Yeah. It does look like, I remember earlier today, there was an image we showed of that, like, broken down, like, highway that got, the road destroyed by water. I do have hashtag Hurricane Matthew searched up on Twitter to see the latest images and stuff. If someone that can screen share goes and checks that out, the water actually cleared out. We can actually see what it left behind. So that's something to look at, and then see if there's anything else going on. Actually, it looks like somehow a stork got into a bathroom to hide away from the storm as well.
Someone asking us what we think, or maybe not, but to verify whether the Eye of Matthew will hit between Charleston and Savannah, I believe it is. Thoughts? We sort of discussed this towards the end of the last hour, but
plausible.
I guess it's looking too uncertain at this time.
It's very
gotta make
uncertain.
the turn, but the National Hurricane Center always said that it would make that turn late, I think, didn't they?
It's just kind of hard to tell where the eye is right now. It's the hardest part to really be able to confirm.
Have you looked at radar recently?
I am looking at radar. I have with the radar. Radar still shows that eye still intact and moving almost due north. But if you look at the infrared satellite, not only does it have, that an eye the center of circulation on like the kind of further western side of where that convection is, or trying to hide it within. It also tries to develop a center circulation with warmer cloud tops to the southeast of it as well, so it's pretty difficult to tell for sure at the moment.
Some people still want to know whether there's still no chance of Matthew and Nicole meeting. I don't know what it's implied by that, whether it's merging
combining.
God, can we discuss this another time?
Other people asking whether it will hit New York, most likely not.
Very cheeky, Nathan. Very cheeky.
Well,
I'm not sure who's better at that, me or you.
Depends who you
That
ask.
storm surge graphic does look interesting there.
It does look interesting.
And don't forget, there's a plus sign next to that 9.
Oh, I did not notice that at first, so that means it could be more severe.
That changes everything.
Because in that area in particular, the geography is kind of perfect to let water pile up with the direction the storm's moving in.
Yeah, more or less
That
true,
does not
yes.
look very good. Especially because the strongest winds are going to be pretty close to where that is as well, the strongest circulation as well.
The Colombian
Shouldn't be
wants to
yawning on
know
air.
whether we have felt an earthquake. I haven't.
Maybe a
felt
small
like the
one.
2.0. Was it a few years ago? There was that 2.0, that was really close to the surface that a lot of the East Coast felt. I felt that.
Yeah, only 1 or 2 of our members are really into the earthquakes
And
so much
I don't
as
know
the
if that
weather.
really even counts as, a real earthquake, really. That was just, really weak.
I've been through a 5.6.
No, I've never felt an earthquake either. But
That one was pretty bad over here.
Well, you guys, no, Nathan, you guys are in a pretty geologically stable area,
And,
more or less.
and meteorologically stable as well.
I'm not 100% sure about that.
Everything's too stable over here, apart from when Cumbria gets flooded every 2 years. Anyway.
No, I think that I think you guys get pretty nasty windstorms though.
The Outer Hebrides of Scotland, sure, but not here.
Oh.
yeah, well, we tend
And
to
then
get
New England
them
has
quite
their
bad
nor'easters,
here,
so
but-
I mean, we
What
get
is
everything.
cracking?
Yeah, well,
We get the nor'easters,
well,
we
you know,
get the blizzards.
Islands
we
in
get
the way
hurricanes.
for me to get hit by anything significant.
Yeah, no, us up
Yeah.
here do get battered by powerful storms.
Alright.
But Nathan, I
Who knows,
think
if that
Nathan doesn't
blocking
get
high
bad.
dissipates between Greenland and England, you could get hit.
Lee?
By what's left.
Well, at the moment, I'm actually keeping an eye on that, Nathan. At the moment, we're expecting the high pressure blocking to continue for at least another 2 weeks. So there's no chance of any storms.
Okay.
Anyway,
Squeakers is asking if we could look at the wind speed probabilities. I think the best way to check that is to go to the Hurricane Center and then click on the wind speed probabilities. That way you can see tropical storm force, hurricane force, and 50 knots, which is equivalent to about 60 miles an hour. It does confirm what I saw in Tropical Tidbits earlier about winds in general, that they're just starting to shrink a little bit on the western quadrants, which are closer to land, and increasing on the eastern quadrants, which are further from land. So that is definitely good news to see. Quite pleasing, actually, to see such a thing pop up right now.
Rain and wind picking up again at Myrtle
My
Beach.
bad.
And the tide looks like it's getting just a little bit closer in.
Yeah.
But still
Soon enough,
looks
it's going
like
to be
there's
pretty
no
hard to
particular...
tell.
At the moment, it doesn't look like there's a particular danger yet. On
Yeah.
this webcam. High tide at this location isn't for another 5 hours yet, however, and we won't be here by then.
Yeah,
Hopefully this
I'll be
camera on then.
asleep.
Hopefully those lights don't go out, or else we won't really be able to see anything.
Well, that's it. They've still got power. That's something that we can certainly verify. Anyway.
Yeah, there's the probability map. So that's being screen shared right now. That's what I meant by the western quadrant shrinking and the eastern quadrants growing in wind radius.
And that would be Nicole there.
Yeah. The little jet line as well to the north is just, because it's kind of odd path.
Yeah, more or less.
But for tropical storm force, the purple area is greater than 90%, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 90 to 100%. So those areas are almost guaranteed at this point. And Jacksonville and the rest of Northeast Florida, unfortunately, will have to endure tropical storm force winds for a little while longer at this point. Although keep in mind this is 5 hours old, so it'll be quite interesting to see the 11 p.m. update with that.
And their cones as well for both those storms, because one track will probably depend on the other.
Yeah. Quite interestingly, I actually want to see the potential rainfall as well, because that's, at least the further north you go, like into northern South Carolina and southern North Carolina. Oh god, that's kind of a paradox to say. But the rain there is supposed to be the biggest problem for those two areas. Especially because at least of the 5 p.m. one, it showed the southern and southeastern edge areas of North Carolina getting over 15 inches of rain, which to put in perspective is almost a foot, at least almost a foot and a half, or over half a meter. So quite interesting to see what they say about that within the next 40 minutes or so.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll get that news.
And was that the tornado risks? They look like they have shifted north compared to earlier.
Okay. And how long do you
And
think
you can
those
see
will?
the tornado.
How long do you think those will remain a threat?
It's kind of hard to tell. I mean, the warnings do say right now the tornado watches do expire at midnight, but it kind of depends on the track and how much land interaction to say whether or not those will be renewed. But as of right now, no new areas with the tornado watches, and they have not been extended in remaining time either. And I'm pretty sure that red circle area is where the tornado watches are. That red shaped area.
That's where the highest risk is, I believe.
Yeah, just based on the location that it was, I think that's also where the watches are.
Yeah, looking like that. Yeah.
I'll just double check that. Yeah, that does look
David,
like
could you look up the model intensity plume, please? Pull that up. Yeah, 0Z model intensity plume. That's track guidance, not the intensity plume. You can see here on the intensity plume.
Slow.
It's alright, it happens. Mine's kind of dead away sometimes. You can see here most of the models saying all downhill from here in terms of intensity. Most models are saying that.
the NVGI and the UK Met.
UK Met just love to do things. Alright. At least it's not the extra. Give me a second, sorry.
Oh, there's a vehicle on the beach there. Let's see if we can get that.
At least it's not the X-Turk model, which is, what's the word? A line. Also, David, keep that up. Could you go to the, model plume in terms of track light? So, track wise.
I would say in terms of the strength, that's not really the best thing to look at, because not only strength where the least accuracy is, but it's also been wrong the whole history of the storm, so it's kind of hard to tell for sure, really.
What do we say about the UK Met track?
Let's see. Where's the UK,
I don't even see the tracks right now, David. I think
the 12Z UK Met has it parallel the coast, then go eastward from like south central North Carolina latitude onwards, and that's the one that's one of the most bullish on the strength, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that was the one.
Oh, we had some more questions as well, by the way. How much dry air between the two storms?
Well, I'll take a look at that.
I know around the Gulf, for the most part, there was a lot of dry air, so when it got to a hurricane, that was quite surprising.
Water vapor IR3.
That'd be a good idea.
Loading. Oh, that's a pretty interesting slot of it right there.
Not as much as before, however.
Yeah, it looks like that it's gotten pretty moist. Also notice there's an upper level low spinning in the Caribbean right now. That's interesting.
I gotta say, the Gulf of Mexico not quite as dry as it previously was, but still dry over there.
Well, it is October. I don't expect it to be too moist.
Yeah, but with the storm heading that way, it'll take all the moisture it can get.
Yes. Look here. You can see there's an upper level low spinning just south of Jamaica, so that might be something to watch. But that's really, it's one of those things.
Although it isn't even designated yet.
I just hope that
someone
look
asked
at Nicole's influence. I just hope it doesn't reach Haiti.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Oh.
Nathan, I was just looking at the model tracks, and there is consensus that it's going to do a curve to the southeast.
We'll look into that. Strat, you had
MM asked, any chance when Matthew heads south it strengthens over warmer water?
Well, that's what we've been...
it's right now we can't even say with that. Yeah, but right now we can't even say with a lot of certainty that the storm will really head south. It's a kind of a split at this point now, instead of all of them pointing that way as before.
There it is.
Here's the what we're talking about here.
Forecaster's nightmare right there.
Draw a line, and there you go. That is where the split is. Draw a freaking line.
Actually, I'll give you a link Nathan sent me a couple days ago just to give a scope of how crazy it is. Actually, some of the models go completely off the graphic as well. That's how crazy this margin of error is after you get to 3 days out.
Yeah, but just picking up on John. John, if you can bring your magical tool down onto the CMC yellow.
Oh god.
David still thinks it's magic. That's his generation there.
Oh, there he is. John likes it. He was the one that.
Oh god, what is wrong with the CMC?
Uh-oh.
Oh god.
I'm not gonna.
That makes me just want to think it's gonna head in the opposite direction.
On the blackboard. John, what?
That makes me want to think.
Oh, what? What am I looking at? This just.
John,
that makes me want to.
Previous page.
The previous one?
Wait,
the
what
12Z?
Yeah, the previous track.
The 12Z.
That one.
Oh god.
No, not that one.
Let's
try
go.
the next one. There's only 3.
Oh.
Do you want the GFS or CMC?
That one.
This
GFS.
one?
GFS.
This one?
The one you were hovering on before. The top left.
Which one?
Left.
Current? Okay, what am I looking at?
Right, the left one to the right.
John,
the one
what
you
are
were already
doing?
on.
So,
around.
view top left hand on the
top.
There's 4 boxes there. The top left.
left top. Got it. Thank you.
I was just there. I was just there.
Now, don't you move. Now bring your pen down onto the CMC yellow and the one beside
it's the yellow one.
The orange. Right. Now, just move. Bring your pen down to the southern side of Cuba. I think that's Cuba, isn't it?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Now that entire area is saying record ocean heat content, and if Matthew decides to cross over Cuba or come down between the southern or just to your right a little bit, John. Now what's that passage there, Nathan, between the two groups?
I don't know the name, but it's south of Cuba, north of the Cayman Islands, Western Caribbean. Breaking news, I've got to interrupt. A tornado warning is in effect for central Georgetown County in northeastern South Carolina until 11 o'clock. This dangerous storm will be near Oatland at around 10:40 and Rems at around 10:45. Tornadoes are extremely difficult to see and confirm at night. Do not wait to see or hear the tornado. Take cover now. If you're in central Georgetown County in northeastern South Carolina, it's a tornado warning.
It is getting, and even though it's 10:30 over here, I had school today and it was quite exhausting over here. So I think I'm probably gonna call it a night. I'm pretty much.
This is your relaxation period, John. But listen, where you've got the black circle, that entire area is saying record ocean heat content, and
that's been a theme though for the whole year, dude.
Because there's nothing that's been there.
It has increased. It has increased over the last month. And I'm waiting to cite the update on that product. But if I know this is long term, but if it tracks over Cuba and into that ocean heat content, then perhaps the picture changes.
That's not looking likely. The CMC, we always. No offense.
It's the CMC. Let's just put it like that.
We always used to laugh at it because number one, it loves the form storms. Number two, when has it ever been right? No offense, David. No offense to anyone here. I just don't think the CMC path is going to be more or less accurate. I'm thinking that I think that if Matthew tracks south, I think it's going to be done by when it gets here. If it tracks north, we're going to be talking about Matthew affecting the Canadian Maritimes.
But look at the consensus of those model tracks, and for our viewers,
They're horrible.
there are numerous models that the public don't even see. The models that we're seeing, there are so many runs within a 24-hour period. But if you look at the whole consensus, it's got that southeast curve.
Now,
I will say the CMC was pointing it out back after doing a half a loop out to sea at 6Z. 12Z it was the same thing, and only at 18Z did it start to do that.
now, if anything, we can't even rule out the storm.
How a day.
Make remnant low, and then afterwards, reforming somewhere around the Bahamas, even after it weakens, John.
Yeah.
True.
Maybe.
I'll support that. But that's long. Let's say a week from
Too
today.
far out.
So Nathan,
I'm
pretty much.
Yeah, I just want to
I'm
remind
done.
everyone, just in case you didn't hear before, a tornado warning is in effect for central Georgetown County in northeastern South Carolina until 11 o'clock. The dangerous storm will be near Oatland at around 10:40 and Rems at around 10:45. Take cover now.
Alright, I'm gonna call it a night. I'm done here. So have a great night wherever you are, or a great day or evening, whoever's watching the stream.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night,
Bye.
John.
Ooh, that is actually really interesting what I just found out. Not only is gas running low in many Florida locations due to Hurricane Matthew, but there is also companies that are price gouging
Really?
gas, making it simply much more expensive as well. Let's see what it said. Let's see, I want to actually find out what the price was. It doesn't say in particular, but it says that there's already thousands of complaints. So,
Really?
yep, so I'll try to find out more about that while any more information comes out.
As you can see, the winds are getting up quite a lot here at Myrtle Beach right now.
yes.
And the rainfall making itself known, but the winds sound like they're gusting maybe the tropical storm force now. I'll try and get the latest observations from the area. But that tornado warning just north of Georgetown in North Carolina, and the flash flood warning for large parts of the coast. Was it North Carolina? South Carolina, sorry.
Yeah.
And large parts of the coast, including Charleston and Beaufort, and Big Issues and Savannah, all under flash flood warnings. What were we going to? Oh, I was going to get observations. So, Strat, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, while you get that ready, AP Weatherman asked, how would you know that a tornado is coming? Harder in the night, particularly because it's dark and you can't really see.
They issue the warnings when the radar indicates rotation.
Yes.
In the
And
storms.
hopefully,
But a
sirens
tornado's
of
loud.
fire. Hopefully the sirens of fire, and then also, I'm pretty sure you hear lots of loud noise as well.
I
But
just
the
wanna...
safest thing... Oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I just want to take some reports here from certain places, some wind speeds. At Beaufort Airport, they're reporting tropical storm force winds right now at 41 miles per hour, gusting to 56. What else here? Johns Island, 28 miles an hour, gusting to 41. Those are in southeast South Carolina. Trying to find anything else of tropical storm force, perhaps. A lot of places tropical storm force gusts, but just that one location with tropical storm force winds on land. Trying to look further north. I'll get back to you.
Yeah, while you take a look at that, with the tornado as well, best way to take cover is either get to low ground, like, you know, basement area if you can. If you don't have that, the safest thing to do is actually to stand in a doorway, believe it or not. Because the metal frame will hold up better than anything else, and that will help to protect
Yeah,
you.
but what if it's a wooden frame?
Yep. And also, someone asked, has Nicole grown stronger? Right now,
No.
at least, it looks like Nicole's dying. I don't know if it's even worth bringing the visible or any satellite on that up, just because it's looking so unimpressive.
And the winds at Hilton Head are 30 miles an hour, gusting to 51. And here where the webcam is at Myrtle Beach, the winds are 23, gusting to 31. So seems pretty low for what we're actually
There
seeing
has
here.
been a tornado in Wilmington.
Huh? Really? Confirmed or reported?
Reported.
Reported Wilmington. That is the area which that warning is in, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it's the tornado warning is actually only about, by my reckoning, maybe 10 miles away from this
I don't know.
camera.
I haven't actually had a look at it. It's just a notification I got on my iPad.
At this time, not seeing anything.
So radar did indicate rotation. So
we've got a hold on. No, just a confirmation. Tornado warning remains in effect for central Georgetown County. It's 11 miles north of Georgetown. It's located over Oatland right now, and it will be at REMS at a 10:45. Take cover now.
And the source was that the radar indicated rotation. Impact of a tornado. Flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. And I will see if I can pull up a radar of that area. Local. Let me see if I can get a loop going.
And tornado warning, as mentioned, Georgetown. So it's north of Georgetown towards Pleasant Hill and Myrtle Beach to its southwest.
That's right, and I'm guessing it's going to be moving in a westward direction.
Yeah, it said, I think it's, here, I'll double check in just a moment. I want to see if I can get the loop to see if there's, It's really hard to tell. I can't really get a zoomed in enough image to check out for sure, but I will check the movement of that
we are
system.
still watching.
It said, yeah, it said moving west at 45 miles an hour.
Yeah, quickly.
So not the best situation there. I'm gonna try to zoom in. I'm actually just gonna Google the Georgetown Town SC radar, just because I want to see this. Georgetown play.
Just waiting for any more information from here. But
yeah, I'm really
nothing
trying
else
to
right now.
find out.
And damage at Merritt Island. Some damage, but not as severe as what was expected.
That's on
Oh yeah.
Merritt.
Oh.
Yeah, I assumed that was the case there, David, from what the observations were.
Yes. The Columbia made a really good point. That despite the fact that that specific tornado warning is only in effect till 11 p.m., that the tornado watches are in effect till 12 a.m.
Yes, we've been saying
Very
that.
smart thing to point out. And then let's see.
And again, the wind's really getting up on that webcam there, and you can see the rain blowing now, and some very the heaviest rain so far by the looks of things. the waters. You can just about see the waves still crashing in over there. Well, maybe not even crashing yet, but getting somewhat closer to the pier or whatever it is. But no danger yet, it would appear. But don't forget that there is in a hurricane warning. People should be hunkering down. It looks like they are. Nowhere near the coast anyway, which is good news. And David's got an image to show us.
Haiti.
Yes.
I think we showed that a bit earlier, but still the overall scope is...
I see a 900.
Yes, it says over 900 here. 900 deaths. It's a tough thing to see, really.
We're going to stick with the webcam now, because you can see some maybe tropical storm force winds occurring here. Certainly some gusts and very persistent rain now. Some storminess occurring there.
I was going to say, it does look like it's raining quite hard. You can kind of tell just because the lights, just like where the light's facing, kind of looks like it's been tapered.
Look under those lights, but you can also see the puddles, and you can see the wind blowing along those puddles there on the ground.
Yeah, it's pretty intense there right now.
I'd say the winds are maybe 40, maybe gusting to 50 there.
At this point, it seems pretty smart that the governor started ordering evacuations at this point. I know yesterday or 2 days ago, it kind of seemed, kind of dumb and like, why is it being so premature? But at this point, it seems like the governor did make the right choice. Because that does look like a ghost town where this radar is, and that's kind of a good thing to see, really, because it indicates that people are not there, where the storm could be the worst for that area.
Yeah, every so often I've heard little voices, some people in the background. I don't know whether it's management or someone just... And we saw a car go along the beach about half an hour ago as well.
You sure that isn't just your head with those voices?
Definitely not. Unless it's you guys talking in the background, but I doubt it.
Nathan.
Yes, Hank.
Clowns.
Yeah, could be.
Oh, no more.
God.
No more, please. No more,
dear.
please.
Oh, that's...
No more clowns. That's the last thing I want to hear today.
Are there any tornado warnings for Onslow County? I will check where Onslow County is. They're actually, at least in the South Carolina and Georgia region, they are not even under tornado watch. Onslow, I will double check that on the National Weather Service for you right now.
It appears that the tornado warning has been cancelled. The tornado warning has been cancelled.
That is definitely a relief. There's not even tornado watch in Onslow, North Carolina, so don't have to worry about that right now.
So as of this moment, there are no tornado warnings in effect. The cancellation of the one near Georgetown.
I think they actually shifted it. It's still there for me.
No, it's been cancelled.
It doesn't... If you go and click on that area, the shape looks different, but
it's a severe
like
weather statement, and it says the tornado warning has been cancelled. The storm which prompted the warning has weakened, and it no longer appears capable of producing a tornado.
That is a relief to hear.
As we come up to a quarter two, we'll be looking towards the National Hurricane Center and their next updates. They'll probably do their update on Nicole first, so we'll bring that news to you as soon as it breaks.
Yeah, but keep in mind that those tornado warning or watches are in effect until midnight, so Saturday at midnight. So just because that one didn't spawn something in, and that's very fortunate, that doesn't mean that it's going to be over.
And you look at the weather that's recently occurred here at Myrtle Beach, who knows what could be on the way in that particular band. Could be more bad stuff to come, and we'll obviously be monitoring the tides at this location as well, though it doesn't look like it's going to get much worse before midnight, it seems, because the waves haven't moved much since we started showing this webcam about 4 hours ago, maybe.
But I guess we can be able to tell when we all wake up tomorrow morning how badly this area was impacted.
Yes, I agree.
Actually,
So, some outlets saying that the death toll in Haiti has reached 900.
yeah, I think that was there in
Yeah.
the picture that we saw just a couple minutes ago.
That would not surprise me in the slightest.
No, it wouldn't.
It's not that, like, you know, it isn't there. It's just when will that be, like, you know, confirmed, reported? Unfortunately, I mean, that's the thinking that goes through my mind when I hear about that right now.
So many people.
Yeah.
Sucks, man. But you know, word.
It's just not something you really want
Yeah, my thoughts
to really
and
even
prayers
think about.
go out to the Haitians and really everyone who's in that won't even
Well,
know.
yeah, I've seen some of
Yeah.
the photos and the temptation. It's like, oh, I wish I could just hop on a plane and help.
Yeah.
I mean, if like, you know, you really donate anything to, like, you know, Red Cross, anything that can really help, like I said earlier, that even though $5 can, you know, hardly get you a coffee here in America,
But
that
for
can
someone
actually,
who maybe has, you know,
Yeah.
2 cents, $5 is like $1 million.
yeah, $5 in most other countries can get you a lot more than it can here, especially in poorer countries too.
Mm.
So remember that whenever you're thinking, oh, I don't have enough money to donate to help those people that really need it, because believe it or not, you probably do. You just don't realize that your money's worth a lot more out of where you are.
It makes you realize how lucky some people actually are, but
Yeah,
and the power that you have. It's events like this that brings the good out of people.
Yeah.
But it doesn't
brings
need
the good
to
out of
happen.
people, but it's a shame that it takes such things to bring the good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I am looking right now, probably constantly refreshing to see if any updates come out. Nothing on either system yet.
And the wind continues to blow at Myrtle Beach as we head towards 10 to 11, and what sounds to me, from at least the audio, like the strongest wind gusts so far. Probably comfortably in tropical storm force territory, with sustained winds must be in the 30s at this point.
Yeah. Also,
High 30s.
unfortunately, there is no recon even going towards the storm right now. That other recon plane that we were talking about, that looked like it was hanging around Tampa.
Maybe they're done
Whatever
for the night.
data feed it was giving out has stopped. And yes,
David?
David?
Can I just ask, what is the current wind speed of Matthew, and what is his gusts?
Max sustained winds are up to 110 miles an hour. Not sure on the gusts. I'll check very quickly.
Gusts are
Update
not
on
available.
Nicole is in, and the wind speed's down to 60 miles per hour with no warnings in effect. Not much to change there for Nicole, but the winds are down just a little bit more to 60 miles per hour right now.
Surprised it isn't worse, actually. So
The
that storm is
forecast
looking...
is, in intensity at least, looks unchanged virtually, but I don't know about the track at this point.
Yeah, it did not update the track yet. And kind of sitting around a bit, waiting for the next update.
Question.
Yep.
Will Myrtle Beach get hit more than Charleston?
I was just going to read that out. That's a difficult question, but probably not. But I think both places could get hit substantially.
Particularly because of geography, it does look like Myrtle Beach is a more susceptible area to storm surge, though, than Charleston.
Do you think so?
It does look like, if you look at just the geography, it's more of a natural bay area, and considering the direction of the winds and the movement of the storm, that is a pretty good area for water to pile up.
I don't know.
Yeah, but
Charleston's
it
in an
depends
inlet.
on the way the storm approaches, because if it approaches
that is
and the
true.
winds, it's on the western side, the winds are pushing it south,
Charleston's
then when
on
it
a
comes back through, it'll push it back through.
Yeah. But
Charleston's
at
on a
first it
tiny
was-
little peninsula in an inlet.
Yeah, but if the storm is like approaching like it is right now, the flow, the current counterclockwise flow will pile up water in that area right now.
Oh no. Yeah, we'll obviously keep watching.
Jacksonville, North Carolina. Someone said
about it?
they're in.
Yeah, Jacksonville in North Carolina. I believe they're under tropical storm warning at this time. Yep, that's right. They're very close to the hurricane warning, and who knows, they might be extended yet at the next update. We'll let you know as soon as that happens, probably just a few minutes before.
That's North Carolina, I think. Yeah, North Carolina.
Yeah, 2 Jacksonvilles not too far from each other.
Yeah.
2 states apart, 3 states apart.
Fortunately...
And Nicole's... Go on.
Oh, the track is updated?
No, I was just going to say, Nicole... No, sorry. And Nicole's track is now southward.
That's where it's going at the moment, yes.
Oh, this is a confusing storm.
So, question for the team. What's pushing or what's pulling Nicole?
Something to do with Matthew.
Well, not just Matthew, also the blocking high that's preventing Matthew from moving that far north, and will kind of stop its momentum that way completely, is also what's stalling Nicole out. Normally, Nicole would follow the high pressure and would move westward, but Matthew's there blocking its movement in that direction, so it's just sitting there stalling out, basically.
Yeah. We have a question from CHE Returns asking, what chance would there be of a storm surpassing the Great Hurricane in modern times? Pretty tough. You'd have to have a hurricane, let's see, stalling over Haiti.
I don't know, Hank. If you talk about fatalities, there's a lot more people today than in 1780.
Well, yeah, it could do the same track. You could do the same track, or you could have the storm stalling over Haiti, then towards Honduras, stalling there, slowly, then up into Louisiana, and you might that might get you there, but it probably won't.
Or you could have like a system kind of like Ike, but when it reappears over the the East Coast moving southward, it rapidly intensifies, and before hitting the Caribbean.
Not necessarily.
Well, in terms of potential damage and loss of life and stuff, that's that's an area that I look for, because it's 4 completely different landfalls, or 3 or 4 completely different landfall situations where the storm can rapidly intensify.
Yeah, but it's not necessarily.
Yeah, it's kind of not something
we're getting
that you can tell.
Here. We should probably.
Yeah, it is hypothetical.
We should probably remember that.
11 p.m. advisory not out yet for Matthew, at least. Something that we will hopefully be able to bring at the top of the hour.
Yeah, they'll wait till the last minute for that.
Well, Nicole's just been updated, so Matthew's going to be done next, I'd assume.
Well, what else is there to update?
Yeah.
Actually, I was gonna say there's probably a low or something, but
no, they've got to update their lives.
Yeah, but just convection from Matthew's actually starting to get pulled up more with this trough or cold front, kind of getting pulled actually further towards the mid-Atlantic states at this point. It's kind of odd because
the watches as far as Virginia and Virginia
so it could actually get pulled into the trough.
I think the really weird thing is that at first, for multiple days, on the hand, it was models were consistently showing this getting caught in a negatively tilted trough. Then they had the ridge come in and completely destroy that potential and move the trough just north, so it'd be a west to east motion. But what really happened is kind of a mix where the trough is still there, but it's positively tilted. So it's still extending the storm out to the north, but not really being able to control its motion.
Okay. Well, we're about to finish the hour here. This is near the end of our 103rd hour of broadcasting, and we're going to be here just for one more, I'm afraid, before we finish broadcasting, at which point we're going to call it a night on the stream. and we'll continue with more video updates on the Force 13 YouTube channel. But we're still here for another hour, and it's been riveting discussion for the last 2 or 3, and I hope the team members can stay for the last hour if they can, as we get towards midnight on the East Coast. We'll have the National Hurricane Center update shortly, and maybe we can talk for another minute or 2, and hopefully it'll come out before we finish. Any final comments this hour?
Let me check if the NHC has updated, and
No,
they have
they
not. Let's go ahead and end the hour.
It'll happen at any time.
Yeah, so we'll bring that to you guys at the top of the hour, I assume.
You can follow Force 13 on Facebook and Twitter, search Force 13 all in text, or you can add Fool13 on Skype, that's FOOL13. Also, obviously you know the drill by now probably for commenting, but if you want to go ahead and do that, start your message with Force 13, though not so many comments at the moment, so we can probably go through them all regardless.
It's not out yet, Nathan, so I suggest just go for the quick break and then can say about it after.
Well, you guys can go off in all directions if you like, but I think the update will come out at any time. But hey, we'll bring it to you when it happens. Stay tuned. And the latest update is out on Matthew. The hurricane warning is changed to a tropical storm warning from north of Flagler